Welcome to By All Means Necessary Real Recovery Talk. My name is Marco, and I'm a grateful recovering addict. We have my buddy, Chef Greg, back in the building. This is episode 18, and this is a special episode. This short story that Greg is going to share with us is the insanity of what happens when you use drugs to an obscene amount, and it makes you make decisions that are totally unheard of. So this is something where you need to get some popcorn in your soda pop and sit down and really kind of understand. And nobody was hurt in this story. Everybody's fine. And the way he tells it is funny. But the whole point of him telling the story is that excuse me, I've never heard a story like this with what happens, and it's insane. So, Greg, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, brother.
Nice to see you.
I think I touched something. Is it working?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
So this is we're gonna call this the lettuce story.
The lettuce head.
The lettuce head. The lettuce head. We're gonna call it the lettuce head. All right, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was afflicted with this disease, God knows when and how long, but at the time it was like 1989, and I used to have to drive from the town I was in, Manchester, to this town, Lowell, to get dosed every day on methadone. It was like the new thing, and it was outlawed at the time in New Hampshire, so I had to drive down to Massachusetts. And being the good dope addict, I'd go down there early and then go up and take care of business. Well, after a couple months, everything's coming back nice. Everything's running smooth. And then I picked up again. And the next thing I know, I'm being medically, you had to stay clean too. Like you'd have to see a doctor back then, and you'd have to give urines and piss clean. And I was getting thrown off the clinic for using again. So this snowballed into me being MIA again and down in Lowell, Mass. And I ran into a friend of mine. We became friends, running mates or whatever. In this
A using buddy.
Buddy. Yeah, he was on the clinic, and she was also on the clinic. So I didn't know her as much, but we're on the move. And
three of you.
Yeah. Well, we bumped into her, and I had been doing it for about a month now, and things were out of hand.
Doing what?
Dope. Dope and some coke, heroin and some cocaine, shooting it in IV. So me and Peter were on the move, and now we see this little girl that was in the clinic. She had been thrown off about a month before that. We're like, yo, get in. We're going to see if she could score. I think my buddy had just ripped off the other guy. So we're like, oh, get in. So she goes and gets it. And he goes, yeah, you can come to my house. We went up to his house, and I don't know if you guys know New England, but they're like salt boxes. It's like 3 floors, and like each one's got a porch. And I think it was late fall. I can't really remember. I think it was late fall, but I know it wasn't warm out, and it was getting dark early. It must have been like late fall, early winter, because it gets dark out real early.
Okay.
And so Pete's like, let's go to my place. Now, granted, we've been running together for a while, but I never went to his place. Neither should she. We get up there, and there's like a couch, nothing else, a throw rug, and some other stuff. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, well, I sold everything else. And I was like, damn. So we began high in there, and everything's going good. Like now we're banging on both the coke and the dope, and
you're shooting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the girl dies. She goes out. Well, we didn't know she died. We're getting high.
You're all getting high.
Yeah.
You're fine. It's plugged in.
It is.
Yeah, you're right. He's fine, right? All right. So you're getting high, and then she drops.
She drops. She turns blue. And now, this is way before Narcan. This is like 1989. I mean, this is how bad this shit went. So, she's out.
You think she's dead?
Yeah, she was dead.
She was dead.
Yep. So I remember back then, like you go and you put ice cubes, I guess, in different areas without being too graphic. So I remember hearing that, and I had been around a lot of old dope heads. So we're like, all right, let's try it. He had 2 ice cubes in the fridge. I mean, what the fuck? So we go, we're in the tub. I'm running cold water, running her in the cold shower. She's out.
Is she blue?
Blue. Stiff and blue.
Holy shit.
And it's not quite dark. It's like 4 o'clock. It's trying to get dark, but it isn't. I had a Chevy Silverado at the time, like a truck. And
okay.
So I was like, I don't know what to do. We're like freaking out a little bit. And then it got bad. And like, she's blue. She's on the floor. And I'm like, what do we do? And Pete's like, I don't know. But I said, I got a truck. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, you got a rug. Let's roll her up. We roll her up. And the rug ain't really that big.
Yeah.
The rug is like, right, I don't know, maybe this big. So there's like feet sticking out, hair sticking out. And I was like, I don't know, dude, this is bad. We're like, yeah, we'll just go out the back door and go down the back staircase where those porches are. So I'm like, all right. It wasn't even like really that dark. It was maybe 5 now. We've been in the house with a dead body for an hour, like freaking out a little bit. And then a lot, really. Put her in the truck, and like in the back of the pickup truck, hair sticking out of one end of the rug, feet sticking out of the other. It was horrific. And he's like, all right, let's go. I didn't know Lowell that good. He goes, go down here, take a right, do this and that. So I'm not even looking, like I'm just driving on freaking adrenaline. He's like, all right, let's go. We throw her in the dumpster.
You drive to so you throw her in the back of a pickup truck.
My truck.
Your truck. And then you drive her around the corner.
Yeah.
Like a block or 2 blocks.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
And you took her body in a rug and you dumped her in a dumpster.
Yeah, and the dumpster was empty and it clanked. It was really, really loud. It was horrifying.
And then what'd you do?
But it didn't faze me at the time. And then it was rough.
Where'd you go?
We went back to Peter's.
To do what?
Jesus. We went back to my friend's house.
Yeah.
And, and we was just sitting there for about an hour.
Were you like, did you continue to use drugs?
No, well, what happened was we were sitting there for about an hour, and I was like, well, fuck it. Like, this is crazy. He goes, yeah, that's kind of crazy. It took us a whole hour to get over that. And we're like, fuck it, let's get high. So we started getting high again. That's crazy. Yep. I didn't care about my life. How could I care about anybody else's? And that was 1989. Is that insane? So
Jesus.
We started getting high again. I mean, I was still a little shook. She was a good kid, too. We both liked her. And it was before Narcan. Like, we didn't know what else to do, and we weren't going to bring her to a hospital. She had been dead, sitting there for like an hour waiting for the sun to go down. Not sitting, but laying. And it was blue, and it was just bad. So we're sitting there getting high. We're like, damn, this is crazy. It's like, Peter's like, I know, I can't believe this. I'm on fucking parole, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you hear, and I was like, what the fuck? He's like, don't answer the door. And I was like, no, I'm not. I just want to see if I can hear anything. I go over to the door, and I don't know what possessed me. Pete's got one leg out the window.
He's trying to get out of the fucking place.
He's about to jump out of the window because he thinks it's the cops.
Right.
I don't know. We didn't drive too far. Anybody could have saw us, and I told you how she was wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I opened the fucking door. I opened the door. I not right away. You know, this continued a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then he's about to jump, and I'm like, something's got to give. So I went over to the door, and I opened the door, and it's her. She's got a piece of lettuce hanging off her eyebrow, and she says, what the fuck happened to me? I'm like, I don't know. You said you were going to get money. I thought she was going to turn a trick, I told her. Quick on my feet, right? So she's like, what the? I said she never mentioned she woke up in a dumpster wrapped in a fucking rug. Never. And I said to her,
she came back to life?
Yeah.
And she came back to where you guys were?
And then you know what the first thing she said was, after she said, what the fuck happened to me?
You guys do all the dope?
Yep. How sick is insidious is this fucking disease of addiction? Isn't that horrific? And I said, what? I'm looking at a dead person. And she said, did you guys fucking do it all? And she never once admitted to waking up in a dumpster or wrapped in a rug. And I am assuming it was a McDonald's dumpster because it looked like the lettuce from a Big Mac.
On her head?
Right on her eyebrow. And I was like, and I'm like trying not to be like geeked out of my mind. And I was like, what the fuck? And I don't know where you went. You said you were going to get money. I thought you were turning the trick. And I said, no, there's some left. I couldn't wait to give her a hit because I was like, fuck, I don't believe it. I thought we had, like she died. It wasn't like we killed her, but we didn't have the option of Narcan. And that's how little I thought about life. Like we're over it in an hour getting high again until the door knocked. And then that kind of ruined it for a second, but she was alive. And outside of that, how insane. Like the first thing she said was that. And I was just like, do we have any more? I wanted to say, bitch, you were just dead in a dumpster in a rug, but I didn't. And just horrible, horrible things. I mean, I'm glad I can laugh about it today. And I was so thankful later in life that she wasn't dead because there's a lot of self-inflicted trauma along the way with the disease of addiction that I work through every day in the NA program, you know, and that's not how I feel about life. Like, I can't even go hunting. If I ain't eating and I ain't killing it, like, plenty of food. Like, I just don't know. Like, it's just not me today. And I think that's why it's so comical to me. Like, I can find some comedy in some of the shit that I did because I don't live like that anymore.
Yeah,
before I never found it amusing at all. I found it disgustingly pathetic, you know, like how could I have taken so many wrong turns?
Right.
You know?
Jesus, man.
Bizarre.
That's a crazy story.
It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. Crazy. It's nuts. Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for coming in and telling that story, man. Yeah. Thanks for checking, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, this is really real.
They are. Have a good night, man.